I wrote Crime and Punishment in American History in the 1990s. I've always been interested in the history of criminal justice, and I was struck by the fact that no one had done a general treatment of the subject. Little piece here, little piece there, this trial, that trial. So I thought, hey, why not just try to tell the whole story? And I thought it was important because crime and criminal justice are fields in which people have an extraordinary number of false ideas, or maybe I shouldn't say false ideas, but they have ideas that just don't turn out to be historically correct. For example, I think most people think prisons, penitentiaries, police departments, well, we've always had that, but the fact is we didn't. Penitentiary was an American invention of the early 19th century. You go back to the colonial period, in old Massachusetts, if you committed a crime, you were whipped. Maybe you had to wear a scarlet letter. Or if it was really bad, you were hanged, but you weren't put in prison. There was no prison. There were jails, but they were only temporary places for people. And so the question we have to ask ourselves, why did this come? Why did we suddenly decide that the way to punish people was to lock them up instead of the methods that were used before? And then why did we decide we had to have a police department? We borrowed the idea from England, but why did we think we needed it? So the book is about questions like this. Where did these institutions that we're so familiar with, where did they come from and why? I think also people tend to think that, well, we had the old Puritans, and they didn't like anything that was fun, including sex. And then it's been a steady change since then. But in fact, the punishment of so-called victimless crime has gone up and down. There was a period at the end of the 19th, early 20th century, where there's a real crackdown on all forms of sexual behavior outside of marriage, on drinking, on drugs, and so on. That hadn't been there before, and most of it is now gone. So the book tries to ask the question, where did these things come from and why? And I think it's illuminating for us today. It doesn't answer any questions, but it makes us more sophisticated in judging, I think, our present system.